Tonight we're going to be having a very important discussion. So I suggest getting on your comfy clothes, get in your bed, get all comfy and cuddly, get your cup of tea. I have fuzzy socks on. Shit's getting real tonight. And let us just talk about rereading. Now personally, I love rereading. I just get so much joy out of rereading a book. In nearly all of life's experiences, you don't get the option of reliving them, but with books you get to relive them the second you close the book. I just think as a reader that's such a privilege that we have. Like, the story doesn't have to end the second the book ends. It can go on for as long because we have the option of rereading it. I don't really have a script for this video, so I'm kind of just going off the top of my head. I know a lot of people don't like rereading books. Like, I see people who are just like, I haven't read this series in like 3 years and the last one just came out. Like, I don't understand how you do that, especially when the last book in the series is coming out. I like to be refreshed completely about what's happening. Like when City of Heavenly Fire came out, I reread the entire Mortal Instruments series up to the day it came out. I think that you got a lot more out of the last book in a series or the next book in a series when you reread the previous books beforehand. Because you remember the characters better and you remember specific scenes that happened that might take place in the last book that you would have forgotten about if you didn't read it. I think especially with a next book in a series, it definitely helps to reread the books beforehand. It's like when TV shows have like reruns up until the new episode comes on. Like, I know they do that on a couple of channels, but like it just helps you get prepared. It's even like the little snippet beforehand in the show and it says previously on blah blah blah. Like, it just helps you remember it better and you get so much more out of it because you're not forgetting stupid little. Now, for some reason, there's just something about book lovers and buying books before you've read them, and I find that kind of weird even though I do it. Like, I don't want to have a book on my shelf that I'm not going to read again. Like, spending $20 on a hardcover book that I don't like and like I'm never going to reread again. I just don't like that because like that book can go to someone else who's really going to like it. I mean, I know it's one book in like the millions that are published, but still. Originally, I tried to only like order books from the library and then buy them if I really liked them and wanted to reread them, but just eventually that didn't work out because like it just takes so long to get from the library. I feel like everybody understands that. It just takes so long, and like borrowing books from friends are just annoying because like you never want to keep them for too long and like it's not your own copy. Definitely. And it definitely helped me with a couple of books because there were definitely books that I ordered from the library that I did not like at all, and I'm so glad I didn't buy. But now like I have a couple on my shelf that like I haven't read, and I just have so many books accumulated that I haven't read while I still want to reread new books, and it's just very complicated. I don't like the thought of having books only read once on your shelf. Just like thinking of one sad book that is just like dusty on the corner or in the very back of your shelf while all the other ones are new and have cracked spines, and it's like, think of like the one puppy that doesn't get chosen. That is the book that you don't want to reread. I just think that books were meant to be read, and I think that when we acquire like really big libraries and collections of books, a lot of them get pushed to the side and we just have them, but they aren't like special to us. Like, say I'm like still making videos in like 5 years, which I hope to be, but still, like I'm gonna look back on my videos and be like, I don't remember anything of that book. And I feel like books are just so special that we should just like savor every little detail in them, and you can only get that a lot from rereading. This video is going to be very long, you can already tell. My biggest argument for why you should reread a book is that you still notice things afterwards. It's just like a given. I think that when anyone reads a book, they just always say how like they just realized something that I didn't realize the first time. But like even now, I've read Harry Potter at least 15 times. Normally I reread it every single summer, and just only last summer was the first summer I haven't done it since like middle school because I went to England all over the summer and I just couldn't carry all my books. But I reread it in like January, February-ish maybe, and I still notice things. Like, I've been reading these books since I was like single digit age-wise, and I still recognize new things about it. And not only do you recognize new things, like there's a newfound appreciation for books when you reread them. I don't know, like I know there's like a lot of books where like I like them more now that I've reread them. Like The Fault in Our Stars, I did not like The Fault in Our Stars when I first read it. And it took me like a week to think about it, and then when I finished thinking about it, then I really liked the book, and now that I reread it right before the movie came out, like I love the book. When you read a book, you have different feelings about it, especially when you reread it at a different point in your life. Like with the Twilight read-along I'm doing with Selena from OXXSnap13, like I read Twilight in middle school when I was like 13, 14, and now I'm 18 years old, and it's just going to be so interesting to reread a book for like such a different point in your life. Like, I've gone through so much more, and like I understand so many more topics that were discussed in young adult literature that I didn't understand when I was just a teenager, and I feel like I'm going to be able to either connect with it easier or like understand different topics and like analyze it better. That's one of the real reasons I am really excited to do this read along. I just really enjoy rereading books. Like, if you watch my TBR drive video, like, I put books that I wanted to reread in it because I feel like they're just as important as reading new books. So I was a very avid reader as a child, and as I grew up and like more throughout like high school and middle school, I really stopped reading except for the Harry Potter over the summer. But in October I started reading the Mortal Instruments series, and I read it literally 4 times before I even picked up another book. I really just enjoyed reliving the entire thing. And now I've read it 6 times and I really want to reread it again, and I just think that especially with a book you really like, you find so much pleasure out of taking part in the whole story again. Oh, there's just so much I love about rereading. It's like when you listen to a song on repeat. Like, everyone has at least one song where they get really obsessed with it and they just play it to death. And I don't know if you can reread a book to death. I think that as long as the story is there and it has a special place in your heart, you're going to enjoy it no matter what. I think that there comes a time when you need to relive a book and like have it either bring back memories or like reteach you the lessons that it taught you. And I feel like it's just beneficial to everyone, and I don't think there's really any cons of rereading. I would definitely love to know your guys' feelings on rereading. If you want to post a video, I would love to see a video on how you feel about it, whether you really like it or you really don't like it. I feel like there's no like in between. But you can either post a video and tag me in it, or even just leave it in the comments. I just think that this is such a good topic for us to talk about because everyone has their own feelings about it. But all in all, I think rereading is very beneficial to a reader. I think that it definitely helps us appreciate books more once we reread it. And I just find so much pleasure in rereading books. So I'd love to see what you guys think, but thank you guys so much for watching my ramble on books. This was like the most serious video I've made in so long. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for 400 subscribers. Like, wow. I really want to make a video just like talking about how much I appreciate you guys. But thank you so much, and I'll see you guys later, so bye!